The International Criminal Court is furious with the Trump administration, and now one observer has issued a startling warning to Trump, as well as Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio. I really hope they don't have vacations planned. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. By now, even the most diehard of Republican voters will know Donald Trump is a criminal. I mean, for one thing, he's a convicted felon and an adjudicated sexual predator, and in addition, he's twice impeached, he was interfering with elections, and he started an insurrection. So there's that. Trump, since his first term, has run afoul of the International Criminal Court as well. If you're unfamiliar, the court is a multinational body established in 2002 to investigate and prosecute war crimes. And given the start date of 2002, it should also come as no surprise that the United States is not a party to it. George W. Bush, people. War crimes? You know why we didn't join. Nevertheless, the ICC has openly criticized American politicians, including Donald Trump. Trump actually had a dust-up with the ICC earlier this year after the court condemned Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu for committing genocide in Gaza. Here's a recap.
We start in the United States, where Donald Trump has denounced the International Criminal Court, accusing it of illegitimate and baseless actions against the US and Israel. In an executive order sanctioning the court, he said it had abused its power by issuing arrest warrants for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. The court alleges they committed war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. Well, on Thursday, Mr. Netanyahu met top US lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Neither Israel nor the US is a member of the ICC or recognises its jurisdiction.
But what's this have to do with Hegseth and Rubio? Getting there. First, it is important to note that following the ICC's arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump tried to attack the court itself.
U.S. State Department announced new sanctions on 4 ICC officials on Wednesday.
In a press release, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called the court an instrument for lawfare against the United States and our close ally Israel. Lawfare meaning using courts to attack. He also called it a national security threat.
That's pretty shocking in and of itself. It's clearly an escalation.
As I said, the hostility between the U.S. and the ICC, that's not new. But last year, it reached another level after a bombshell announcement by the court, accusing both Israel and Hamas of war crimes and crimes against humanity. It said it had reasonable evidence that a Hamas leader was responsible for war crimes against Israelis, including torture, rape, and sexual violence. But at the same time, it accused Israeli officials, including Benjamin Netanyahu and his defense minister at the time, of war crimes in the campaign against Hamas in Gaza.
So, in summation, Trump hates the ICC because, like any rational court, it tries to hold him responsible for crimes and does not appreciate him trying to intimidate its judges. And it appears to be catching up with him. You'll recall that over the past month, the Trump administration has begun bombing boats originating from the country of Venezuela. The most recent attack came last week, in which the bombing killed all aboard. Trump, along with Defense Secretary Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, has justified the attacks, claiming the boats were carrying drugs, though the Trump administration has provided no proof to that effect. And now it looks like those boat attacks are having some unintended consequences. In a lengthy new essay written for the Wall Street Journal and reported on by The Raw Story, conservative George Mason University Scalia Law School professor Eugene Kontorovich points out that Trump is committing the same war crimes as the Philippine President Duarte that got him arrested by the ICC earlier this year. Duarte ordered the summary execution of alleged drug traffickers, in a similar fashion to the way Trump is bombing boats off the coast of Venezuela. Furthermore, Kontorovich points out that because of their participation, both Hegseth and Rubio could face charges by the ICC as well. Even worse for those two stooges, they could end up scapegoats for Trump, tried for crimes against humanity in his place. So it works like this. Arresting a former president is tricky since he always has security and Secret Service detail. Arresting former administration officials is different. They don't have government security, and while the U.S. would likely have objections to their arrest, the country would probably do very little to circumvent any kind of trial. In other words, should Hegseth or Rubio leave office for a little international vacation, they may not come home again. The journal piece also points out that the ICC often will release secret or sealed indictments, so Rubio and Hegseth don't see their arrests coming. And you know what? Donald Trump loves TV drama. Can you imagine how he would react to an international trial of his former cabinet deadheads? He would love that attention. And think of the docuseries. Think of the Ryan Murphy-produced dramatization, International Crime Story, Drinky Pete and Little Marco. I'd watch that. How about you? For now, let's all keep our eyes on the ICC and Trump's illegal bombing of boats without evidence to suggest they're carrying drugs. And let's hope for some real justice in this mess. This is Occupy Democrats.